My name is Michael Anthony, and for many years I was executive secretary to John Beresford Tipton, the multi-billionaire, whose charity was as boundless as it was mysterious. For it was his hobby to give away, anonymously and tax-free, $1 million apiece to various people he never knew. This is Silverstone, John Beresford Tipton's 60,000-acre estate. Mr. Tipton was a man of amazingly wide interests, so wide that one never knew what to expect when called into his presence. You sent for me, sir?
Mike, tell me, what do you think of me as an employer?
Why, I've always admired you greatly, sir.
But don't you sometimes have the desire to turn the tables, Mike? To sit in my chair?
Why, Mr. Tipton.
To tell me off? Come, Mike. Confess it.
Well, I can't say it hasn't ever occurred to me.
Try it, Mike.
Mr. Tipton, I'd rather not. I don't think I could.
Our next millionaire.
Newman Johnson was a clerk in the office of the Greenwise Glove Company. He'd been there for 3 years. Might be there for another 50 years. On this particular morning, Newman Johnson was preparing himself to sell the boss a revolutionary idea he'd dreamed up. One that would take him from the last desk in the line to the first. Because at the Greenwise Glove Company, this was almost equal to being vice president.
Won't work upside down, Newman. Excuse me.
What do you say, Shirley, baby? You want to type up these orders for me?
There you are. Mr. Greenwise.
Taylor?
Yes, Mr. Greenwise.
Newman out there? Let's send him in. Newman, these books must be kept up to date. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Triplicate. Every order must be in triplicate and entered in the order book so that I can... close that door, Newman. Why wasn't the Atlanta order written up? Tacoma. The Birmingham. This is the worst book I've ever looked at. It's a disgrace.
But Mr.
Our rules are made for a purpose or are made to be obeyed. I don't propose to stand around and watch anybody make a joke out of my rule.
But Mr. Greenwise.
No excuses. That ledger speaks for itself.
This is Wilson's ledger, sir.
No, don't try to change the subject. I'm tired of the carelessness around here. Do you understand, Newman?
Yes, sir.
And don't give me yes, sirs. I want action.
Yes, sir.
Now, I want this ledger brought up to date and placed on my desk no later than tomorrow morning. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I just want to make it clear.
That'll be all, Newman.
Mr. Greenwise, I wanted to talk
Miss
to you.
Taylor.
Mr.
Yes,
Greenwise.
Mr. Greenwise.
That will be all, Newman. Shut the door, Newman.
Here, Wilson. That's yours.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, son.
Mr. Greenwise thought it was mine.
What's the trouble, son?
Well, I had an idea I wanted to tell Mr. Greenwise about.
Didn't get very far with it, huh? You gotta know how to handle the boss, Newman. You gotta be forceful, dynamic. You gotta talk money to him. Now, BG, I've got an idea here that's gonna make you some real money.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to come up with a pretty hot idea to make an impression on the boss.
Oh, well, this is a great idea. It's the best one I've ever had. And it's so simple. Look, you take your gloves.
Too bad it's so late. My sister went to a lot of trouble to fix your favorite supper. Did you bring your work home again?
No, dear, that's Wilson's ledger.
You're not going to do his work for him.
Honey, he's doing a favor for me. He's going to go and sell my new idea to Mr. Greenwise.
Why can't you sell it yourself?
Well, Wilson knows just how to talk to Mr. Greenwise.
I'm glad somebody does. Oh, his supper's all dried up, but I'll see if I can fix it. Newman, when are you going to learn to speak up to Mr. Greenwise?
Well, honey.
Well, honey, what? Even my squeak.
Dear, I don't want to lose my job.
There are other jobs.
But I like the glove business.
But, Newman, we never have any time together anymore. In the office, we have to pretend to be strangers because Mr. Greenwise won't hire married couples. And, well, at home, you're either thinking up a new idea you never tell him about, or you're doing someone else's work.
I'm sorry, honey.
Oh, Newman, it's just that I love you so much, and I want to see you get ahead.
It'll be different. You'll see. Wait till Mr. Greenwise hears my new idea. Well, you'll see.
I hope so, Newman. I really hope so. Well, I did the best I could.
Thanks, Amy. You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see.
Where is everybody?
Now that we're all here finally, Newman, close the door. I brought you all in here today to show you a new idea that was brought to me by a member of our own office staff. Now, what is that?
Well, it's a glove, Mr. Greenwise.
What kind of glove?
A white glove.
Yes, but anything else?
Well, it's a right-hand glove.
That's right, Shirley. A right-hand glove. Now, watch. Now, what is it?
Well, it's a left-hand glove.
Of course, it's a left-hand glove. Do you see? You see?
It's kind of funny inside out.
Oh, yes, of course, Edgar. But it wouldn't if it were the same inside as it is out. Reversible. Now, with every pair of Greenwise gloves that are sold to a customer, we're going to give them each an extra glove that is reversible, to be used on either the right or left hand.
Of course, it's a wonderful idea.
So, you see, one lost glove doesn't necessarily mean the loss of a pair. Not with the Greenwise, reversible, convertible, extra glove.
You've done it this time, Mr. Greenwise.
No. It wasn't my idea. There are some people in my organization with initiative that we could very well use as an inspiration to all of us to always think love. No, the idea was brought to me by Mr. Martin Wilson. Now, Mr. Wilson, in addition to an increase in salary, you'll have a new title. Head of the audit department. You will assume the responsibility of the number one desk.
Well, thank you, Mr. Greenwise.
Oh, congratulations. Thank you.
Now, there are some other members of my organization who would do very well to follow Mr. Wilson's example. Back to work, everybody.
Mr. Greenwise.
Yes? Back to work, everybody.
Mr. Greenwise,
We're going to be very busy trying to keep up with Mr. Wilson's wonderful ideas. Well?
Yes, sir.
And to just stand there. That's what I can't understand. Your idea, you let Wilson take the credit for it, and you don't even speak up.
Does she have to do that now?
Now is the best time to do anything. Didn't you even have it out with Wilson?
I tried to talk to him.
And?
He was busy.
Busy. He's busy keeping you busy. What you don't have in your head, you have to have in your feet.
Couldn't she do that in her room?
I pay 1/3 of the expenses. I thought I could use 1/3 of the living room. But nevertheless. We shouldn't quarrel when my sister's around.
She's always around.
But she's my sister.
Honey, why does she have to live here with us? She can afford to live by herself.
1/3 of the expenses is a big help.
Well, we could get along. Why don't you tell her she'd be happier living somewhere else?
I can't tell her.
But you don't like her living here any more than I do.
Look, Newman, Amy is not the point under discussion. It's you. Oh, if only you'd get angry or lose your temper or speak up.
Well, I am angry, and I'm going to speak up right now. But I'm going to speak up to Amy and tell her she's got to pack up and get out of here. Amy, there's a couple of things I'd like to say to you.
Yes, Newman.
Well,
Newman, I overslept myself. You're going to be late for work.
I stayed up most of the night working. I didn't want to disturb you. I had to get Mr. Wilson's ledger done.
Mr. Wilson. Good morning. Oh, there are the girls. Newman, we're going to have to go without you. Mr. Greenwise especially asked me to be in early this morning.
Well, I'll take the bus. You go ahead.
Okay. Goodbye.
Mr. Newman Johnson? How do you do? My name is Michael Anthony. I have some very important business to discuss with you.
With me?
Yes. May I come in?
Well, I was just on my way to work. I'm going to be late.
Oh, this won't take very long. Are you alone?
Well, my sister-in-law's in there.
I'm just delivering this. A cashier's check for $1 million. It's made out to Newman Johnson. The tax has already been paid. It's $1 million free and clear. I can't tell you who sent you this gift or why you are the recipient. You may only know that an anonymous well-wisher has sent you a cashier's check for $1 million to do with exactly as you choose. You merely sign this pledge stating that you will not disclose the amount of this gift or how you got it to anyone except your wife. If you tell anyone else, you will forfeit what's left. Just sign here, please. Will you please, Mr. Johnson, just sign this paper? Come, Mr. Johnson. For $1 million? Thank you. I hope you enjoy your gift. Goodbye, Mr. Johnson.
Listen, Mr. Anthony, Thank you.
This morning?
Amy, there are several things I would like to say to you. For 2 years now, it has seemed expedient for you to live here with us, sharing approximately 1/3 of our joys, woes, and expenses.
Newman,
I do not consider this a particularly happy arrangement, especially in view of the extremely low opinion you have of me, and I think it would be pleasant for all of us if you would amiably agree. I've often wondered why you were called Amy. It certainly is a sweet and amiable name.
Newman,
As I was saying, I think it would be better for us all if you were to live elsewhere. If you need financial assistance, I shall be more than happy to help you out. But out. I said out, Amy. Out.
Mr. Simmons? Wrong order. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we'll correct it. Thank you very much.
Right side up.
Edgar, there are several things I would like to say to you. One of our greatest presidents, Edgar, started life as an office boy. However, he was courteous, prompt, and reliable, which you are not.
Hey, now, wait a minute.
On the contrary, Edgar, you are rude, incompetent, and unreliable. You also have a very low, primitive sense of humor, and I sometimes suspect that you have never washed your hands.
Where have you been, Newman? I've been waiting for that lecture.
Mr. Wilson, there are several things I would like to say to you. You have only been with this firm a couple of years, but during that time I have watched you steadily and insidiously crawl your way toward the boss over the backs of your co-workers and friends. Mr. Wilson, I consider you dishonest, unattractive, although conceited, and I do not believe for 1 minute that you have ever or could ever have an original idea in your dull and deceitful brain.
Wait a minute, son.
I am not your son, Mr. Wilson. You are not my father, and that's the only thing I like about our relationship.
What do you think you're doing?
Newman, you shouldn't come in here. He
Kate, there are several things I would like to say to you.
Well, not now.
Now, Kate, behind every successful man is a woman. And maybe he wasn't so successful at first. Maybe she had to pretend a little bit to give him the confidence he needed. But, Kate, no man feels like a real man unless there's a woman who believes in him. Now, you've been a very wonderful wife in many ways, Kate.
Newman.
But between you and Amy, you didn't leave me much ground to stand on.
But you can't go in there.
I am in there.
What are you doing here, Newman?
Mr. Greenwise, there are several things I would like to say to you. Windbag!
What did you say?
I said windbag!
Yes, well, thanks. Yeah, I'll call you if I hear. I don't know where he could be. I've called everybody. Newman's never stayed out all night before. Oh, Amy, you don't have to go today. Newman didn't really mean it. Nobody has to hit me over the head twice. I'm going to move in with Doris and Jane. They'll appreciate my 1/3. No, it was my fault. I nagged him into it. But he acted so strange. The things he said and what he said to Mr. Greenwise, I've never seen him like that. I'd better call the police. You'd better not be late for work. You can't afford to lose your job now.
Should I close the door now, Mr. Greenwise?
No, Newman Johnson will be here almost any minute now. Good morning.
Good morning, BG. Sorry I was late, but my limousine was held up in traffic. Would you put those over there, son?
Now, how do you want to handle this, then, Jade? Would you like me to,
No, BG. I'll take over, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday evening, after extensive negotiations, a contract was consummated between Mr. Greenwise and myself, whereby I am assuming full ownership of the Greenwise Glove Company.
For heaven's sakes, he's our new boss.
I still think I paid a little too much for it, BG, but it's a good business. Thank you, Mr. Greenwise.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
I still think he's a windbag.
Newman, will you tell me what this is about?
Later, Miss Taylor, later. Wilson. Shut the door, please, Wilson. Well, I see we're all here, and a splendid-looking staff it is, Shirley. Morning. Wilson, I think that for the time being, you might be a little more comfortable in the last desk. Perhaps when you come up with an idea of your own.
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson. Yes, sir.
And, don't give me yes, sirs. I want action. I am contemplating a few changes.
Allow me, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Edgar. Dopey. What say we start to work about 10 in the morning? Work till 4:30? About an hour and a half off for luncheon? And in between, I think we'll all be happier to work harder than ever because we'll be participating in the profits. Let me see what else now.
Newman, what are you?
Oh, Miss Taylor, yes. You will naturally continue in your position as executive secretary. Could you come over here, please? Come on. See if you fit the job. I have a few little trinkets here for you, Miss Taylor. A mink coat and sundry other effects. And I guess I forget to tell you, I have just ordered a suite for us at the Ritz. I want you to know that the Miss Taylor you all know is, has been, and always will be Mrs. Newman Johnson.
Gee, I'm glad. You know, they're cute.
That'll be all, people. Back to work.
Please tell me.
Later, dear. I'll explain everything later. Now, come kiss me, Kate.